Right now, somewhere, you're probably about to laugh at something. A text from a friend, a stupid meme, a joke that wasn't even that funny, but you laughed anyway. And you never think twice about it. It just happens. Your body does it before your brain even finishes deciding it's funny. But here's the strange part. Laughter is one of the oldest human behaviors we have, and we still don't fully understand why we do it. You'd assume laughter exists because things are funny. Except that explanation falls apart almost immediately because most laughter has nothing to do with humor at all. So, what's actually going on when you laugh? And why are humans the only species that does it quite like this?
Let's start with the animals. Chimpanzees laugh. So do bonobos, gorillas, and orangutans. In 2009, a researcher named Marina Davila Ross recorded the sounds great apes make while being tickled or wrestling in play and found something remarkable. The rhythm, the breathiness, the pattern of exhalation, it all traced back to a common ancestor of humans and great apes, somewhere around 10 to 16 million years ago. That means laughter isn't something humans invented, it's something we inherited. But ape laughter sounds different from ours. It's panty, breathy, tied almost entirely to physical play. Wrestling, chasing, tickling. If you tickle a chimpanzee, it produces a rough panting sound on both the inhale and exhale, almost like heavy breathing with a rhythm to it. Human laughter took that same reflex and rebuilt it. We added rhythm, we added vocal cords capable of true voiced sound, and we added the ability to laugh at an idea instead of just a physical sensation. Somewhere along the way, laughter stopped being just a body thing and became a mind thing too.
So if laughter isn't really about humor, what is it about? In the 1990s, a psychologist named Robert Provine spent years doing something almost nobody had bothered to do before. He walked around in public and simply recorded when and why people laughed. Malls, sidewalks, college campuses. He logged over 1,000 instances of laughter in natural conversation, writing down exactly what was said right before each laugh. And what he found broke the whole assumption apart. Only about 10 to 20% of laughter followed anything that could be called a joke. Most laughter followed completely unremarkable statements. Things like, "I'll see you guys later," or "It was nice meeting you." Not funny, not clever, and yet people laughed anyway. What Provine discovered is that laughter isn't primarily a response to humor. It's a social signal. People laugh about 30 times more often when they're with others than when they're alone. Not because things are funny or in groups, because laughter's real job isn't reacting to comedy. Its real job is bonding. He even found that the speaker laughed more often than the listener, which is the opposite of what you'd expect if laughter were purely a reaction to something clever someone else said.
Think about what laughter actually does in a group. It signals safety. It signals belonging. It tells the people around you, "I'm relaxed, I trust you, we're on the same side." Before humans had complex language, before we had irony or wordplay or sarcasm, we almost certainly had this, a sound that told everyone nearby, this moment is safe, this moment is shared. Some researchers believe this is why laughter shows up so early in human development. Babies start laughing around 3 to 4 months old, long before they can speak or understand a single joke, which suggests the behavior isn't waiting on language to function. It's already doing its job. And here's the part that should stop you for a second. You can't fully control it. Try to laugh on command right now, and it sounds fake, forced, hollow. But a real laugh, the kind that catches you off guard, comes from somewhere deeper than conscious thought. Researchers have traced involuntary laughter to older, more primitive parts of the brain, structures shared with animals, not just the newer regions responsible for language and reasoning. That's why people with certain kinds of brain damage, including some forms of pseudobulbar palsy, can lose the ability to speak, but keep laughing normally, sometimes even uncontrollably. Laughter runs on older wiring than speech does. This also explains something that seems almost too obvious to question. Why is laughter contagious? Why does hearing someone else laugh make you want to laugh too,
even if you have no idea what's funny. Because contagious laughter isn't really about the joke spreading, it's the social signal spreading. Somebody nearby feels safe and connected, and your brain, wired for millions of years to track the emotional state of your group, picks that up and mirrors it. This is also why laugh tracks work on television, even when you know they're fake. Your brain responds to the sound of laughter almost automatically, regardless of whether you consciously believe it's genuine. A room full of laughing people isn't a room full of people who all heard the same joke. It's a room synchronizing.
So here's the full picture so far. 10 to 16 million years ago, some ancestor of ours developed a breathy, rhythmic vocalization during physical play. That reflex got inherited by chimpanzees, gorillas, and us. Somewhere in the last few million years, as human brains grew more complex, that ancient physical reflex got layered with something new. The ability to laugh at an idea, a memory, a clever twist of language, not just a tickle or a chase. And through all of that, its core function never changed. It's not primarily a response to comedy. It's a signal of safety and connection, running on wiring older than speech itself. That's also what makes human laughter unique in the animal kingdom. We're the only species that laughs at things that aren't physically happening in front of us. A chimpanzee laughs while being tickled. You can laugh at a text message, a memory from years ago, an idea somebody describes in words that hasn't happened yet or never will. That requires imagination, language, and the ability to understand irony, timing, and deception, all layered on top of an ancient reflex that used to only fire during physical play. No other species has stacked that much complexity onto something so old. A dog might play pant. A rat, remarkably, will even emit ultrasonic chirps when tickled that some scientists compare to laughter. But none of them are laughing at a callback joke from 20 minutes earlier in the conversation. That layering is entirely ours.
There's another clue hiding in something almost everyone has noticed, but never questioned. You cannot tickle yourself. Try it. The exact same touch that sends someone else into helpless laughter does almost nothing when you do it to your own skin. Neuroscientists believe this is because your brain constantly predicts the sensory consequences of your own movements and cancels out anything expected. Tickling only works as a surprise, and more specifically, as a surprise delivered by someone else, in a moment where trust matters. A predator sneaking up on you doesn't tickle you into laughter. A friend or a parent does. The reflex seems almost purpose-built to only fire in situations of established safety, which lines up perfectly with the bonding theory. There's also a social status angle that researchers have only started digging into more recently. Studies on laughter in conversation have found that people of lower status in a group tend to laugh more, and more often, at the jokes of people with higher status, regardless of how funny those jokes actually are. In other words, laughter isn't just glue that holds a group together. It also maps the social structure of that group, whether anyone in the room realizes it or not. Every laugh you let out in a meeting, at a family dinner, or with a new group of friends is quietly doing social work you were never consciously aware of. And that's why laughter still puzzles researchers today. It's simultaneously one of the oldest behaviors we have and one of the most cognitively advanced. It's involuntary, but shaped by culture, since what counts as funny varies enormously from place to place. It's primitive, but requires understanding concepts an ape could never grasp. It's shared with our closest animal relatives and still somehow unmistakably, distinctly human. So the next time you laugh at something, notice what's actually happening. Your body is running a reflex older than language, inherited from an ancestor you'll never know the name of, tuned over millions of years to do one job. Tell the people around you that you're safe, that you belong, that this moment, whatever it is shared. You weren't taught to do it. You didn't choose the sound. It's just there, running quietly in the background of nearly every conversation you'll ever have. The oldest social technology you own, and you never even noticed it was working.